In the face of a very changing market that we're in right now, and where agents are struggling in some cases right now, some agents are. Some agents are having the best year of their lives. Some agents are in tears, just trying to get through this painful transition that our industry is enduring right now. Okay, so there are some key factors that I've noticed that agents like yourself versus other agents who are struggling right now. And there are things that I've noticed because you and I work together. We talk about just about every other day, and we meet once a week to go through some coaching tips and techniques and ideas and strategies and all that. So I made some notes about some of the things that I want to convey to the other real estate agents in our community right now to help them with their careers. And so what would you say is helping you right now in real estate to be effective in terms of what you're doing and how you're doing, whether it be technology, a tool, a mindset? What is it that you think that you're doing, in your opinion, that's different from agents that are not making it right now?
I will say, John, it's the fact that I am on it, right? That I'm just not afraid to make the calls, to do the follow up, to listen to the no after no after no. It's just,
Yes.
I know that every no I get, it's just getting me closer to a, yeah, let's meet.
Mm-hmm.
So it is like a numbers game. And I just realized that if I'm not in it to win it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get anything out of it. And the one thing that I keep telling you that I have going for me, it's the support that I get from you.
Okay.
That is
Yeah.
like, it's second to none. I would think if I was an agent all alone with all the difficulties that I am facing, it will be possible that I will give up, like many
Mm-hmm.
of them do. But having the advantage that I have you a phone call away, everything that I need, I just reach out to you, and you're always available.
Oh,
That
great.
to me, it's very good, and I appreciate that.
Well, thank you for saying that. I wasn't expecting to hear that, but thank you. That's great. Um, and I like what you said earlier too, in regard to being in it to win it. And I have some observations about being in it to win it that will help other agents who are watching this video right now. Here's what I'm noticing of what's happening right now, because I coach top producing agents and I'm a broker owner of an office, and I've been in the business for 30 years. So being in the business and being active, my wife and I are actively, working to list and sell real estate right now. So I'm active in the industry. And Beatrice, you and some other people are on our team, and it's how we're all working together here. But in addition to that, I'm also coaching the top producers in our office as well, and helping them grow and build their business and their teams. And I see the good things that they're doing as well. And then I see other agents who are struggling, not just in our own company, but in other companies as well. And there are some distinct differences. And one of the things that I've recognized with you, Beatrice, is that when a lead comes in, and there are numerous sources of where leads can come in. You can buy them. It's like there are just a plethora of companies right now that have come out of the woodwork that you get the lead and you pay them a referral fee, right? So there are those companies out there that agents can sign up for to get leads as well. And what's happening right now is that when an agent gets a lead for someone who would be a buyer interested in buying a home. So let me put it in the form of a question, Beatrice. If you're a real estate agent, would you rather have a listing or a buyer right now in this market? If you wanted to make an
I
income,
want to have listings.
listings, right?
That's all I want.
Well, you're the listing specialist on our team, of course. That's your go-to. But think about it in terms of an agent who's not on a team or part of a team. They're an individual solo agent and they're working hard. What is their more guaranteed source of income? Would it be a buyer or a listing in this market?
I would say it's a buyer, and many times the buyer is also a listing, right?
So thank you for saying
Because
that. Yes. So a lot of agents would say that I would rather have a listing than a buyer because I know if I get a listing, it's going to sell. If I have a buyer, I might have to write up 13 offers with that buyer before they get one accepted, right? So
correct.
agents are going to be more excited when they get a lead for someone who wants to sell their home versus a lead for someone who wants to buy a home. Would you agree with that in general? For most
Yeah,
agents?
yeah,
Yeah, for most
absolutely.
agents.
Yes.
So what I'm seeing happening is that agents are getting leads, like they'll sign up for a lead source and they have leads coming in and they'll look and they'll say, "Oh, buyer. Okay, well I'll call them later." And they see, "Oh, listing. Oh boy, I'll call them right now." Right? Because they're being conditioned. They knew that when they took a listing, the listing was listed and sold in a week. They knew that when they took a buyer and put them and brought them out to show them properties, that it was taking a long time for this process to go through. The buyer was frustrated. Sometimes buyers are blaming agents for their lack of being able to get the house when it's not the agent at all. It's just the market that they're frustrated with. So their buyers are looking for someone to blame it on. So sometimes they'll unfortunately blame it on their agent, which is completely unfair. Because sometimes the market right now is unfair to buyers. When
Yes.
you're competing with multiple buyers on a property and you don't have a process in place, or if you're of the mindset as a buyer that, well, hey, if you find me something and I can get a great deal, I'll buy the property. And, as I've heard many people say, including buyers, this is really not the best market for quote unquote a great deal. If you're looking for something that would be a great deal, and you're a buyer in this market, you may want to go to an auction or not be part of one, right?
Correct.
An auction like environment, right?
Yeah.
But I think most buyers are coming around right now. They understand. They know that this is not. You're not going to win the negotiations if you're not playing hard and being aggressive with your offer. Now, that's a whole seminar in and of itself, how to get offers accepted, and we've done a few of those here in our office, and with
Yes.
pretty exciting strategies on how to get offers accepted. But what I want this video to be is how to encourage agents moving forward. Okay. So, number one thing that I want to say to the agent population out there is stop throwing away buyer leads. And here's what I mean by that. If you get a lead and you do not respond to that lead within the first 5 minutes of that lead coming in, and I don't, even if you're on a listing appointment or whatever it is you're doing, let your family know that, hey, you know what? This is crunch time for me in real estate. When a lead comes in, I'm going to have to stop whatever it is we're doing or talking about, and I'm going to respond to this lead. And after I respond to the lead, I'll get back to you or whatever it is that I'm doing. Could be in the middle of dinner. There are times when, someone who's really committed, they'll pause the movie, right? take the call, return the lead inquiry, and make things happen. So it's really a commitment because what's happening is I think agents, and I'm getting this from, I've heard of buyers saying to other agents, I can't get anyone to return my call. So what does that tell you? It tells me that the real estate agents are not returning their calls because, there's no sense of urgency there. They're just being conditioned. But those same agents might be complaining, my business is down and I'm struggling right now and I don't know what to do. And I'm thinking about getting another career. Or they have one foot out the door and another one on a banana peel, as we like to say, when it comes to the real estate industry. And they're thinking of ways to get out instead of ways to be productive and to stick with it and to be effective. And those same agents, unfortunately, and if you're one of these agents, don't be offended, but you may not be treating these leads the right way. So what I want you to do is I want you to get out there and return those leads with enthusiasm. And here's one of the reasons why. If this doesn't encourage you, I don't know what else will. But reportedly, 18% of those buyer leads that are coming in have to sell their home. And I know what some of you thinking people who need a checkup from the neck up are thinking, yeah, but John, I can't find them anything to buy. So they can't sell their home because they can't find them something to buy. Well, there's where you have to come in as an expert. You have to come in and advise them and help them understand that there are options out there for them right now. You know, when I hear you and other effective agents out there talking to buyers, and I see that, you know, they need to find a place to move to, well, we always discuss their options. Like, for instance, they could rent for a while. It's not the end of the world. You know, what if they sell it in the high market now, rent for a couple years, and buy when the market is more leveled? Or take their time in finding the right property rather than rushing and going out and trying to find a home now and being under extreme pressure to find a home so that they can retain the buyer that they have. Why not take your time in buying? You know, renting is not a bad thing for the short term, right? Long term, you always want to own a home. It's an option, right? To take advantage of the market, sell high. Here's another option: live with family. Some people aren't exploring that opportunity and that option to live with family members for the time being. Live with friends. Here's a third option: negotiate time to stay in your house that you're selling, even after the closing. Or have an extended closing. That's a fourth option, where you can stay in the home for a longer period of time until you close. You know, it's not as effective as renting back and living there because buyers want to take advantage of the interest rates. They don't want to wait 3 or 4 months to be able to close on the property for fear that rates might be going up. So you might have a better opportunity to negotiate some additional time to stay that gives you time to go out and find and secure a property. In worst case scenario, you don't find one, we'll have a backup option in there to rent. So that becomes a listing for an agent. So get excited about these buyer leads. And your goal is that, you know, I'm here to tell you 1 out of 5 of those buyer inquiries, they have a home to sell. And there's your listing opportunity to help them list and sell their property for sale. The other thing I want to mention that, Beatrice, you always have is just to keep a positive attitude. And you mentioned it quite a bit right now. Just roll with it. Get the no's and move on. Move on to the yeses. You know what I like that my wife Marlene says all the time? She says, listen, our job is to help the people that want to be helped and find out who those people are. That's our job. And we don't have to help the people that don't want to be helped. Our job doesn't have to be that we are out there trying to convince someone who doesn't need our help that they need our help. That's running uphill. That's running against the wind. Exactly. Like, why are you trying to take everyone who's saying no to you and working so hard to get them to say maybe, when instead you could be working with all the people that are saying maybe and help them to say yes? Now, the last tidbit that I want to leave you all with is this. We've got to get back to basics. Floyd Wickman says if you want to be successful, get a goal, right? Make a commitment to that goal and that plan. And number 3, get back to basics. So I've coached literally thousands of agents, and one of the things I always have them start off with, and you remember this, Beatrice, because we talked about this, because you're relatively new to the industry, is we have to get your sphere of influence into a database, and we need to communicate it with it regularly. And I know some of you are rolling your eyes saying, oh, I've heard that a million times. But are you doing it? I know you know it, but are you doing it? Are you connecting with them? I mean, are you really connecting with them? Are you just sending them an email newsletter once a month? Or are you really connecting with them? Are you sending them a postcard once a quarter? Do you send them a calendar every year? I mean, that's good. That's better than nothing. But are you really connecting with them? Are you calling them on the phone and saying, hi, how are you doing? How's the family? What's new? What's exciting? How's your health? You know, just call and care. I'll call it the CC method, call and care. I just made that up. Isn't that great? Bitch, we should patent that. The CC method. Call and care. That's all. You don't have to ask them, you know, do you need to buy or sell a home anytime in the near future, or do you know of anyone, or who do you know that's interested in buying or selling? Just call and care. They know you're in real estate. But what they need to know is they need to know that you care. And that's what caring's all about, is just really getting out there and communicating and connecting with the people that you want to help. All right? And then your job is to help the people that need your help. Don't spend your time, energy, and effort trying to convince people who are sitting there saying, no, I don't need your help. No, I don't want to buy a home right now. No, I don't want to sell my home right now. I was just curious. Okay, great. Have a nice day. And move on to help someone who needs your help. Right? So,
Right.
Quick recap. Stop throwing away buyer leads. I'm looking at my notes over here. 1 out of
Send
5.
them to me.
Yes, that's right. Send them to Beatrice. 1 out of 5 of those buyer leads that you're throwing away or that you're not communicating with effectively within 5 minutes is a home seller. So there's where your listings are going to come from. Explain the options to your sellers, that they can sell and they can rent. They can live with a family member. They can negotiate more time in the property. This is why we have this pent-up demand of listing inventory, because we have sellers that aren't listing their home. Only 24% of sellers aren't listing their home because of COVID. A lot of people are thinking the whole market's because of COVID, and that's why people aren't selling their homes. That's not the reason why. That's one of the reasons why. It's 24% of the reason of the people out there are saying that that's the reason why. They want to wait for the vaccines to kick in and for this whole thing to go away, and then they'll move. But there are people out. What about the other 76% of the people out there? A good portion of them, they're afraid that they're not going to be able to find a place to live. We'll solve that problem for them. Don't say to them, oh, well, don't worry about it. Well, it's going to be tough to find a property and secure a property now. You have to be aggressive about it. If you don't have the fortitude to be aggressive about putting an offer on a home and have it not subject to a home inspection, or have it not subject to a financing, or have it not subject to an appraisal, and you don't have the stomach for that, this may not be the market for you to buy a home in right now. Okay? Negotiate more time to stay in the house, either before or after the closing. That's another option. Keep a positive attitude and hyper-focus, people. Agents of the world, hyper-focus on your sphere of influence right now. I hear agents complaining, well, there are all these lead companies that are referring leads to me, and I have to pay a 30, 35, now 38% referral fee to some of these referral sources, and I'm sick of that. Well, here's what they're doing. They're getting to your sphere of influence before you are. They're doing a better job of marketing themselves than you are. So what they're doing is they're capturing some other agent's sphere of influence and referring it to you and collecting a referral fee. What do you think is happening to your sphere of influence right now? These technology companies who are experts in marketing on the internet are capturing your sphere of influence, referring them to other real estate agents, and collecting 30 to 40% referral fees, because you have not hyper-focused on your sphere of influence. I can't think of anything else that would motivate you more than that, than the fear of loss, right? This is what you're losing by not hyper-focusing on your sphere of influence right now in this market. So, Beatrice, do you think that we provided our live audience, or our recorded audience, I should say, with some powerful facts today? And what do you think about what we just talked about?
I really hope they listen to you, because yes, leads are very important to us, but we need to follow up. We really need to get to them and really need to ask the question, when leads come to me and the answer is, I'm not interested, like, perfect, fine. But I always go back to them. I always follow up, because at some point they might be interested.
Right.
You never know.
Absolutely.
So it's just like, yeah, put them aside, but don't forget about them. Just reach out to people, follow up with them every several months, if any.
Yes.
Okay.
So they're saying no, but but what we want to say is they're just saying no for now.
Correct.
They're
I'm
not
not
saying no
interested.
forever.
No, but there's a reason why they were there. There's a reason why they were curious to see.
Yes.
You know? There's a
Absolutely.
thought process. So someday they'll be there waiting for you. We
Excellent.
need to be there when they're ready.
That's right. I love it, Beatrice. Very well said. Any other valuable words of wisdom that you'd like to leave?
Uh, yes, yes. Find a coach. That
Oh,
to
okay.
me is like, find a coach. Anybody that can help you the way you helped me,
Yes.
particularly when it gets tough, it's
Yes.
very valuable.
Yes.
Very
I
valuable.
I have to agree with that. And I've made videos in the past though, encouraging people to get a coach. It doesn't have to be
Yes,
me. It can be any, any reputable coach out there will definitely help you get to where you want to go. All the experts in all the industries have coaches. So
yes,
why not you, right? So that's excellent.
correct.
Well, thank you, Beatrice, for your words of incredible wisdom. We have
Thank you.
so much respect and appreciation for you. You're one of the best. So thank you for that. All right.
Thank you,
Well,
John.
if those of you who have seen this video, if you have any suggestions or ideas, let us know. We're happy to help in any way that we can. Have a great day.